Morning all. Okay, so this morning, difficult to get to that place where thoughts just aren't bombarding you, busy mind, all that mind chatter. I'm assuming some people that might be the same experience, not just when we, sit down to meditate, but maybe even when we're trying to go to sleep or whatever. I'm assuming for some people it's not even an issue, and I don't mean that because it doesn't happen to them, but that it's not a problem, it's not noticed, and that's just the normal way of being. I really like, in the last few years, the way Eckhart Tolle's information about awareness, consciousness, the mind, I just like the way that information has come about. And one of the main things I take from him is that we can make this distinction between our thinking mind, the constant thought stream of chatter, and what we are when that's not there. So that distinction points to the fact that we are something other than the thought stream, the chatter. Now, as I say, why that might not be a problem for some people is because that's all we've ever known. That's all. It's like, what do you mean? I'm not the thoughts in my head. I'm not this ever continuing conversation, this decision making, this problem solving, chatter. It's only when inspecting the contents of the mind you can actually see how prominent it is, how much of our experience it is, how dominant it is. So when I say I'm struggling with the chatter, the context of that is, I've had several goes and some experience with coming away from that and being something other than that. That doesn't mean, I'm not trying to say I'm special. Loads of people have that. It's a result of doing some internal work, like a bit of meditation, or just practicing what they call presence, coming into the senses, feeling things as opposed to thinking things, all that. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. But the mind's chatter is more of a problem when you're aware of what it is and trying to make it cease. Which, of course, that's what's funny, because trying to make it cease is giving it resistance, and is actually counterintuitive to what you're trying to achieve. So I'm aware that this chat, there's a lot of irony in it. But yeah, it's sometimes we just have them days where we're wanting to reduce the mind chatter, because for me that's a place of safety and true reality, calmness, and clarity. When the mind is just incessant thought, especially during meditation, it's quite uncomfortable. It's quite uncomfortable. I like the peace and quiet, I like the calm, I like that state. I'm used to, kind of arrived at in meditations, and even just out. This is why I like walking around in parks, because it's easier to access there. But yeah, the difficulty in experiencing endless mind chatter is tough, And I get this a lot with people who come to the qigong courses or the meditation, where it's really dominant and it's hindering practice. See, what we've got one way of dealing with it, which is being present, establishing a meditation practice, something along those lines. But what we've also got, which is making that all the more difficult, is what we do in our waking day. Now, this is the main point that I wanted to make. It's really hard to get the mind chatter to a minimum and get relaxation and stillness when you spend the day nurturing endless thought, nurturing unhelpful thought, and stimulating thoughts. Now, there's loads of different ways that thoughts can be stimulated, but one of them is, ironically again, funnily enough, social media, computer use, all the technology. It stimulates. So there's that. There's other things like undealt with, unprocessed emotion, or even trauma. I find in my experience that a lot of endless thought comes from an uneasy state of being, which is some kind of negative emotion that I'm experiencing and I haven't acknowledged, I haven't given credit to, I haven't looked at, I haven't done any work around to get past it or integrate it. So emotional states, basically, if you're walking around with a load of undealt with pain, anger, on any level, your thought, your chatter is going to be equivalently enhanced. So if you're struggling with thought, you know, the thought stream, the mental chatter, if you're struggling with your meditations, there are a couple of easy things to address. Not say easy, they're not easy to address. It's easy to know that's an issue. There's lots of others I think I'll come back to in another video. But yeah, what are you doing to stimulate? You know, if you're having trouble with your practice, meditating, getting stillness, just generally, what are you? Have a look at your waking state. What's stimulating this? Why is it so busy when you're coming down to relaxation? It's a bit instructional, this video, like I know what I'm talking about. It's not what I aim for with these vids. It's just something that I notice myself in my own practice. I know I've spoke to other people who have the same thing, and a few people in my classes lately are struggling with this, so it's on my mind and I'm addressing it. So I hope you get something from the vid. I'm going to crack on now. I'll see you all soon.